Listen to their lies. Transgression is the worst in these last days. I wonder why they rather die. They continue living in the righteous way. Many will accept, not Jacob's seed. Wait for our God, Satan, get thee behind me.
And the seed shall inherit the earth forever.
A powerful earthquake in Morocco has inflicted death and destruction. More than 2,000 people are now known to have died after the quake struck in the island.
Well, lawmakers have until midnight tonight to pass a new spending bill after a last-ditch plan to keep the government temporarily funded failed on Capitol Hill Friday.
Good morning. So yesterday's powerful and moisture-laden storm capped off New York City's second wettest September on record as torrential rainfall left those in transit in dangerous and simply impossible situations.
This morning, New Yorkers drying out after a dangerous deluge left many areas underwater from record-breaking rain.
Target announced that it will close 9 of its stores, including the one on 117th Street in Harlem. The stores will shutter for good on October 21st.
And as Fox 5's Arthur Chan reports, Target's blaming the closures on ongoing problems with theft and violence.
Well, could the next pandemic make the height of the COVID-19 outbreak look mild? That's what some experts are predicting for what's being called Disease X.
The way that a lot of people are walking around suffering.
About 42% of high schoolers say they constantly feel sad or hopeless. That's up more than 50% from 1999. 41% of undergrads reported overall depression, and 14% reported suicidal ideation in the past year.
We've lost trust in everything.
I can start. This is a different one. This is live. Welcome, sisters and brothers, to another episode of Table of Truth. This is September. We had August last month, and we're in the month of October now, but we're doing September's Table of Truth. And here at the table, we got Brother Matt, we got Brother Dre, we got Brother Joshe, and I'm Brother Yogi. And so we're going to discuss a lot of issues that's happened in September. Who want to kick it off, Brother Matt?
Yeah, we can kick it off.
Yeah, we can kick it off.
Start out with that Lake Lanier, man.
Lake Lanier?
Yeah, I gotta have a video for that.
Brother Josh, you want to get that video?
Only at 5:30, we are taking a closer look at an all-black town in Georgia called Oscarville.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about this on social media for the last few years, and if you haven't heard of it, it's probably because it no longer exists. It's buried under Lake Lanier. 11 Alive's Latasha Gibbons has more.
When we started working on this story, we set out to track down descendants of Oscarville. Weeks later, we found a family who could trace back their roots 4 generations. They shared with us stories that were handed down about what the all-black town was like, including the night that led to its destruction. It was set on fire by night riders after they say a white woman was raped. Then later, it was covered by the body of water we now know as Lake Lanier. May Crow is buried here at this Gainesville cemetery, but the trail of destruction following her death stretches into the land surrounding Forsyth County, buried beneath these waves of Lake Lanier, where in 1912 nearly every black resident was forced out. That includes people living in an old black town called Oscarville. The community was formed in the late 1800s during the Reconstruction era.
There was a very strong community feeling among the blacks. About 300 children that went to some of the schools that were the black schools, and it was closely connected to the churches.
Georgia history teacher Lisa Crosby says Oscarville was a thriving black community, full of carpenters, blacksmiths, and bricklayers, but farming was the top trade.
So they really had kind of a miraculous farming growth here while the rest of the state was really struggling.
But then residents were abruptly forced off their land.
So the flashpoint, I think, is 1912.
This takes us back to the death of May Crow. The 19-year-old white woman was found dead in the woods near Oscarville, presumably after being raped.
Typically, the answer to white girls being raped was go to the black community and just start blaming people.
By nightfall, terror began to reign over Oscarville.
So from there, the rage and hatred in the community, mobs got together and they were called night riders, and they were riding throughout Oscarville and driving out the black community.
And the night turned deadly. You know, they were waking up by fires outside, firebombs thrown in the church.
Filmmaker Bob Mackey recaptures those horrific nights in an upcoming television series.
Anytime anything happened, guess where everyone would go? To the church. Well, they attacked the church. People were hung, lynched.
Mackey's series features stories of direct descendants like George Rucker, who can trace his family back 4 generations to Oscarville. He tells the story of his great-grandfather, Bert Oliver, and the entire family being forced off their land.
Night riders came through. They had to leave everything. The main thing they left was property, and my grandfather had 100 acres.
Rucker says many relatives died as they tried to flee.
So when they got to the Chattahoochee River, from what I understand, they were told, when the mob got up on the bridge, they were told that they either had to swim or drown. Most of them didn't make it. My grandfather, one of them that did make it, he lost some brothers and sisters.
He says his relatives who survived settled in Gainesville.
From what my mother told me, Bert Oliver, he would sit and tell her this story, and he would just sit and cry.
Crosby says whites in the area took over the remaining properties. She says Oscarville farmers were specifically skilled in raising poultry, which set the pace for Gainesville eventually becoming poultry capital of the world.
You have a farm already going, and you had free land, so you just take it.
Rucker says his great-grandfather married his second wife, Beulah, and they built this school that still stands in Gainesville today. By the late 1950s, the Beaufort Dam was built and Lake Lanier was formed, covering up Oscarville and swallowing most of its history. Many believe Lake Lanier is haunted because of the high number of drownings. We spoke to officials who tell us because there is an entire town that includes structures and even forest areas with trees that are 60 feet tall, it makes it more difficult to navigate through, and someone can easily become trapped in debris, leading them to drowning. We have so much more on this story on our website.
Yeah, that's another story, like thousands more, ain't it?
Yeah, the reason why I wanted to do it, because you know what happened, it happened between September 5th and September 12th, so that's why I wanted to do it, man. 'Cause I know a lot of people didn't know nothing about Lake Lanier. I never heard of it either. I forgot how I even found it.
But there's so many, there's so many stories of us, the black man or the Negro or the African American or the Hebrew Israelite that's hidden. That you know, it's just that you gotta search.
Wall Street. I want to read that Deuteronomy 28 and go with it. Kind of like, you know what I'm saying? You know, some of this stuff, but it's like almost like once we got kicked out of our land or whatever, 7 AD kept on happening over and over and over again. So that's how I look at Black Wall Street and all the other things that's been happening to our people. Like, hey man, when you read this curse right here, it just keeps happening over and over again. This Deuteronomy 28, 50 through 52. A nation of furious countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young, and shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, oil, or increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep until he have destroyed thee. You know that they took over the farm.
Yeah, he gonna destroy you wonderfully. Yeah. But then, you know, when you have land, you know, that you had in your name, they just knocked you off and took your land.
Yep.
Who dare stand up and say, okay, that was our land, so we don't want our land back? No, that ain't gonna happen.
Verse 52. Yeah. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy hind fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Now that sounds like 7 AD, and that's why I said, man, you know what, when you really look at this scripture, it's almost like 7 AD kept on happening to us over and over and over and over again. But yeah, man,
And it's just, but not knowing, you know, it's the hand of the Lord. Because you will not prosper.
Because a lot of people don't know nothing about Lake Lanier, so I figured I'd bring it out. I just found out about there's so much more on it, man. Yeah, you know, it's population was 1,100 freed black slaves, and you know,
1,100 freed black slaves.
Yeah, it was freed blacks, and they built their own town, you know. And this, check this part out. They say, Ernest Noah Oxendale, okay. Lake Lanier was named after Sidney Lanier, former Confederate soldier. Ain't that something?
And I'm
they got their name.
What's so crazy? I'm gonna touch on the Confederate myself. Yeah, Matt was showing me that. Yeah. I guess we'll put that in October. That way I can show it on the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send that to you.
Yeah.
You can send it to
we'll put that on October.
You definitely have to show that, man.
But yeah, I'm touching on that Confederacy too. You know, because between the Union and the Confederacy, I'm talking about the Emancipation Proclamation later on. Yeah, so it's gonna be something deep. Yeah. What you got, Brother Dre?
I was just looking up this air vaccine.
Air vaccine?
Yeah.
Oh, is it on your?
Oh, you gotta do it with your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, we put it on the watch later already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. I was using that. Now I thought you can search it.
I can. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it, Jay. What is it about? Why you do that?
It's a needleless vaccine. They don't need to be needle.
So, like we said, nano. It got to be nano.
It got to be Bill Gates behind this, please.
He's behind it.
So it's an air vaccine?
It's an air vaccine.
So really, whenever you think vaccine, what you think of? Being vaccinated.
Yeah, with a needle.
But see, you got something, right? So if you go to the doctor and you got a cold, I'm going to vaccinate you with something that's going to heal that cold. If it's going to be a shot.
Right.
So whenever you say air vaccine, who's sick?
Man.
The whole world sick? If you go throw it in the
Nobody
air?
likes needles, but they're necessary for delivering many vaccines and life-saving medications into the body today. But what if those therapeutics could be puffed through the skin with just a little pressure, like being hit in the arm with a foam toy? Today, scientists report steps towards making that a reality, using powdered vaccines that don't require refrigeration and are administered through the skin using a quick jet of compressed gas. These MOF jet injectors could easily deliver vaccines and other medications in a relatively painless way. The researchers will present their findings at ACS Spring 2023, a meeting of the American Chemical Society. Needleless jet injection of vaccines is not a new technology. They've been used for large-scale immunization campaigns dating as far back as the 1950s. However, they were painful and the fluid often splashed back, which could spread other diseases such as hepatitis B. Instead of using liquids, researchers at the University of Texas at Dallas figured they could deliver cargo in a powdered form instead by encasing it in metal organic frameworks, or MOFs.
They're a class of crystalline material that connects to each other. They're porous materials typically, and essentially there's a metal and a ligand, an organic material, a metal, and it forms this matrix. And when things get stuck in this matrix, they can't move. It's like being wrapped in a straitjacket. And so biomaterials can't fall apart. They can't run into each other. They can't really do any chemistry when they're in this locked-in form. But because MOFs are, well, the MOFs that we're used are very sensitive to acid, like even just a little bit of acid, they fall apart. They completely dissolve.
We delivered with two different gases, actually. One, same material we delivered with carbon dioxide, and then in another setting, the same material we shoot with air. The one that we delivered with carbon dioxide, it lowers the pH of the media with the compound, and our C8 is degraded. If we are gonna use a vaccine, we can lower the release of the drug into the body just by using the non-acidic gas.
The team is now using this method to deliver chemotherapeutics and adjuvants as a potential treatment for melanoma. They say that because the MOF jet can disperse material over a wide area, it could distribute a cancer therapeutic into a melanoma more evenly than the current delivery method using needles. Though research is still ongoing, the researchers note that the preliminary experiments are yielding promising results.
Oh, air vaccine. Air vaccine. When they were shooting it, it just poof.
That's it.
But you notice that when they were shooting it, that I guess they so-called skin sample that they had in a little bitty tray turned dark. started turning dark after that shot. You know what I mean? So that's no. That's why they had the lab right down there. Well,
I don't even trust regular vaccine. I ain't trust no air.
Since we're doing videos now, I'll come back and touch on my documents. But I got one, this sister called, it's all the way at the bottom, I think. Her name is Dr. B. And she discusses federal highways. And we mentioned Black Wall Street on here too, which is Tulsa, Oklahoma, in 1921. And they, but you got the Rondo neighborhood, which is in Minnesota. She's gonna touch on the Albina neighborhood, which is in Portland, Oregon. Then you got the West Adams Sugar Hill, which is in Los Angeles, California, or Harlem. And then you got Sugar Hill, Jacksonville, Florida, which is the number 4. And you got Hayti District, which is in Durham, North Carolina. Then number 6 is going to be Tulsa, Oklahoma. And she's going to tell you all the breakdown of how they destroyed these people through this federal highway project with President Eisenhower in 1956. So we're going to kick off the video. The sisters, hey, I like the 6, because the 6 is really, it's broke down, and you don't get some major interstates, that was built.
What happens when eminent domain collides with thriving business districts? Well, today I'm highlighting 6 not so well-known Black Wall Streets that met their demise when their footprints intersected with interstate highway pathways. Stay tuned. Hey bosses, it's Dr. B, your favorite business doctor. My research allows me to spot patterns. For example, when President Eisenhower envisioned and created the interstate highway system in 1956, transportation planners tore through the nation's urban areas with freeways that, through intention and indifference, carved up Black communities. What is often not discussed is that tens, perhaps even hundreds, of historically significant Black neighborhoods and business districts, often referred to as Black Wall Streets, were disproportionately impacted by highway construction projects that spanned the 1950s through the early 1970s. Highway projects often led to the destruction or severe disruption of thriving economic centers and vibrant communities. Here are the stories of 6 Black Wall Streets that met their demise at the hands of the U.S. Highway Interstate System Project. Be sure to stick around because number 6 might surprise you. Number 1. The Rondo neighborhood, St. Paul, Minnesota. In the early 20th century, the Rondo neighborhood was a thriving Black community. Churches, businesses, and schools set down roots in Rondo, creating a strong community. In 1928, businesses included the Cregephon Social Club, which offered a social space for young Black professionals. The social club went on to create a food cooperative and a credit union that helped residents finance their homes and educations. However, the Federal Aid Highway Act of 1956 advanced city planners' ideas to link St. Paul and Minneapolis. The projected path went straight through the heart of the Rondo area. Despite community resistance, I-94 construction began in September of 1956. The interstate opened in 1968. Rondo was largely destroyed. The highway physically cut the neighborhood in half. Number 2, the Albina neighborhood, Portland, Oregon. During the World War II era, many Black workers moved their families to the Albina area of Portland. Albina was the only neighborhood where they were allowed to live at the time. After the war, a thriving Black community and business district emerged in Albina. Black-owned businesses, community centers, houses of worship, arts, and cultural spaces were the foundation of the community. By 1960, more than 80% of the city's 15,500 black residents lived in Albina. Then in 1960, the Oregon Department of Transportation applied what residents called a meat axe to Albina in the form of the construction of Interstate 5. The interstate project led to the destruction of homes and businesses and ushered in Albina's severe decline. Number 3, West Adams or Sugar Hill, Los Angeles, California. Sugar Hill, Los Angeles was a homage to the legendary neighborhood in Harlem. Sugar Hill became the headquarters for African American businesses and institutions, including Golden State Mutual Life Insurance Company and the First AME Church. A number of prominent black business owners, doctors, lawyers, and famous actors and actresses, including Hattie McDaniel, called Sugar Hill home. But then in 1963, Sugar Hill was bisected by the new Interstate 10 Santa Monica Freeway. By 1964, almost all of the families and professionals who had once called Sugar Hill home moved away. Number 4, Sugar Hill, Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville's Sugar Hill neighborhood was described as a prestigious upscale streetcar suburb where Jacksonville's most prominent African Americans lived from the late 1800s until the 1960s. But then the construction of the Jacksonville Expressway in 1960 saw Sugar Hill's mansions demolished. Upon completion of the Jacksonville Expressway, which later became Interstate 95 or I-95, Sugar Hill's business district was completely decimated. Number 5, the Hayti District, Durham, North Carolina. I covered Hayti in a longer video. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out. But in its prime, from the 1800s through the 1940s, the district was one of the most successful black communities in the country. In fact, it was one of the first all-black communities to be fully self-sufficient based on the diverse type of businesses and institutions that anchored Hayti. However, with the rise of the automobile and urban planning philosophies, plans were made to construct the Durham Freeway. Highway construction required the demolition of homes, businesses, and other vital structures in its path. The route chosen for the freeway cut directly through the heart of Hayti. This resulted in the displacement of residents and the destruction of their homes and businesses. Now this one just might surprise you. Number 6, Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. While Tulsa is perhaps the most well-known Black Wall Street case, a not so well-known narrative component is that after the KKK and others destroyed the Greenwood neighborhood, and after the nation's deadliest race massacre exacted a heavy toll on the community, residents quickly rebuilt the commercial area renowned as Black Wall Street. In fact, the neighborhood's moniker of Black Wall Street arose after, not before, the massacre. Film footage from 1925 through 1928 shows a bustling, thriving Greenwood, confirming Greenwood's homes and businesses came back. This period of prosperity after the attack often gets erased from Greenwood's story. In addition, Greenwood's second destruction in 1971 by way of Interstate 244 and US 75 is often untold. Highway construction dismantled the prominent community for a second time. So one may ask, Dr. B, why are you highlighting these stories? My answer to that is these 6 cases and the many more that I plan to bring to the forefront via this channel help to dispel the myth that the Black community lacks a historic tradition of business participation. These examples illustrate the broader issue of barriers to business success. In these cases, highway construction projects and urban renewal in the mid-20th century disproportionately impacted Black communities, leading to displacement, economic decline, and the loss of cultural heritage. If you find this All Up in Your Black Business content informative, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Don't ever tell me pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't hear that no more.
And you know, it's like a brother. It's like a matter because you notice Eisenhower kicked that off in September. Rondo neighborhood kicked off in 1956 to 1968 in September. That's when that interstate highway came. You know what I mean? And that's why I brought this up, and it was just a good prime example to bring it up. But I got some scripture. And we're going to go back to where Matt was in Deuteronomy 28. Because we thrive, but us as Israel, we don't come back to our God. You know what I mean? And the Lord got a problem with that. You know what I mean? So we're going to read Deuteronomy 28, and I'm going to start at 43. Read through 46. Just break it there. Yeah. This says, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. Because thou hearken not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments, his statutes, which he commanded this day. Because why? Because we went against our God. And 46 says, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, upon thy seed forever. You know what I mean? And the Lord ain't messing around. So every time we try to build up, he tear it right back down. And I'm going to another one. Because this, like Matt read that Deuteronomy, this one right here just stayed in my mind. This would remind me of Ezekiel. Ezekiel, when he's talking about Jehoiakim, Jehoiachin, and Zedekiah.
Yeah,
right?
Ezekiel 21.
Yeah. Ezekiel 21 and 12, we're going to pick it up. Because, us being a people, man, you feel for what's happening, but we know we turned against our God. You know what I mean? And Ecclesiastes tells us the more knowledge we have, the more we feel sorry for them. So we're going to pick it up in Ezekiel 12 and 15, then I'll skip around. 21, Ezekiel 21, my bad. 12 through 15. This is the Lord saying, and the Lord ain't messing around. He said, cry and howl, son of man, for it shall be upon my people, and it shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite thy therefore upon thy thigh, because it is a trial. The Lord said, this is a trial, man. You know what I mean? And what if the sword contempt even the rod? That's the rod, is beauty, ain't it? And it shall be no more, says the Lord. Thou therefore, son of man, prophesy and smite thy hands together, and let the sword be doubled. And the third time, the sword of the slain. And it is a sword of the great men that are slain, which entereth into their own private chambers. I have set the point of the sword against all their gates. You hear that? I have set the point of the sword against all their gates. Yes, sir. Yeah, over and over again. That their heart may faint, and their ruins may be multiplied. It is made bright. It is wrapped up for the slaughter. Right? That's the Lord said.
Maybe what?
Yeah, wrapped up for the slaughter. Yeah, multiply.
They ruin, multiply. That's why Dre sitting over here got this chart showing us this chart. Well, we had plenty of Black Wall Street. It was multiplied, but it got ruined.
And then we're going to tell you this. It ain't over with. Let's get over to 24. Lord ain't done yet. He said, therefore, thus said the Lord God, because ye have made your iniquities to be remembered, and that your transgressions are discovered, so that all the things doing your sin do appear. Because I say that ye are come to a remembrance, ye shall be taken with the hand. And thou profane wicked princes of Israel, whose day is come when iniquity shall have an end, right? And now, like Matt was saying, it's going to happen over and over, but the Lord going to do this. Thus say the Lord God, this 26, remove the diadem. What diadem mean? The turban off your head, right? And take off the crown. This shall not be the same. Exalt him that is low. And what do you mean by exalt him? Speak highly of him that is low. But we don't do that because we want to sit high. And he said, abase him that is high. And what does abase mean? Degrade you. Bring you back down that is high. Right? And I will overturn it. And it shall be no more until he come whose right it is, and I will give it him. Who he talking about? Gentile. Well, yeah, that too, but he talking about the Gentile. He gonna give it to them, right? And check it out. The reason why I say that is just, let's drop down to 31. Because ain't nobody gonna do you like he can. You know what I mean? He gonna throw you off the land. And whose right it is. And I will pour out my indignation upon thee, and I will blow against thee in the fire of my wrath, and deliver thee into the hand of the brutish men. Who the brutish men? And the skillful to destroy. That's a Gentile dynasty. Because if you done messed up, I just got Jehoiakim, Jehoiachim, and Zedekiah out of there, and I'm going to overturn. Here comes the Gentile dynasty. Look at the 6 we just seen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Lord blew on that thing. Who came? Gentile dynasty came and knocked them out of with the interstate. Who? Eisenhower, 1956. We got one more, 32. And he talking about the Gentiles here. Check it out, here go 32. Thou should be for a fuel to the fire. The blood should be in the midst of the land. Thou should be no more remembered, for I, the Lord, have spoken. You know what I mean? Deep. And that's what happened to that 6.
I like that 15 though, brother.
Yeah, I ain't nothing like that 15.
I said, man, their ruins be multiplied.
And then
every time we build something up, they get destroyed.
Yeah, and then he said 31, and deliver thee in the hand of a brutish man, and skillful to destroy.
Skillful.
You know what I mean? And he come through there and he destroyed everything we had. Yeah. And so Lord, what he do? He overturned it. Every time we come up, he overturned it. Every time man, you gonna seek this God. You know what I mean? So if you ain't seeking this God, like Brother Marlon read today, you know, I'll be a sanctuary. He read that. You know what I mean? But if you ain't seeking this God, then he gonna overturn. That's right. And that's what that story reminded me of when Dr. B came and did that. So I got 2 more things, but man, we'll let you go with anybody else got something?
I got this. It's something quick and sweet.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. Go to. I had a video. It's about the police. Yeah, there it is.
There ain't no VA in there, is
No.
This video from a Seattle police officer's body-worn camera captures what sounds like a callous disregard for human life.
I think she went up on the hood, hit the windshield, then when he hit the brakes, flew off the car. But she is dead.
That's the voice of SPD officer Detective Daniel Otterer. It's recorded January 24th, one day after a woman, 23-year-old John V. Kundula, was struck and killed by another officer's squad car while that officer was responding to a call. Kundula was in a crosswalk when she was hit by the patrol car that was going 63 miles per hour in a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
It does not seem like there's a criminal investigation going on.
In a different portion of the call, the officer appears to be talking about paying off the victim's family, such as a monetary settlement if the family were to sue the department.
No, it's a regular person. Yeah, just write a check. Just, yeah, $11,000. She was 26 anyway. She had limited value.
Seattle police say the video was flagged by a department employee, say the Office of Police Accountability is now investigating. But that's not blunting the impact for some.
I don't even have the words to describe how I feel. I'm sickened, for one thing. And it's doing a lot of damage.
Victoria Beach works with new Seattle police recruits, says she's hopeful for the future of the department, but is saddened to hear those words.
Somebody died. How do you laugh and joke about something like that? Whether you agree or not, keep your mouth shut if you have comments like that. And especially you're an officer. We don't need you. You're not what Seattle Police Department wants.
As for the officer heard in the video, King 5 has confirmed he's also the vice president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, the largest law enforcement labor union in the Northwest. The Guild did not return a request for comment. In a statement, the Seattle Police Department says it's been in touch with the family of the victim and continues to honor their express request for privacy. They add that as others in the accountability system proceed with their work, the department extends their deepest sympathy for this tragic collision.
Yeah, the reason why I brought this up, you know, for the September thing, because this case came back up in September. Now, if you notice, it happened in January.
Yeah.
But so they've been trying to bury that story, but it kept on coming back up, you know, because people like us on social media, you got people like, you know, that just make videos, do content on YouTube, they keep on bringing up the same story over and over, but it came back up in September 14th, man, and you know, this keep happening.
Yeah.
But look, the one thing I like about that cop is he was honest about how they feel when they kill us.
That's all it was about the
Instead of them
statues they taking
saying,
down.
oh, we sorry and we don't want. Nah, he laughed. That's how they all,
You know what
most
that
people
reminds
feel
me
like
of
that.
too? I don't know if y'all seen that one with the lady that was in a police car, right? On the railroad track.
Yeah, I seen that.
You know what I mean? That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? The
that
lady.
I think he just on desk duty now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you shouldn't be a police officer. You're supposed to protect and serve,
The
right?
hand of a Brutus man and skillful to
Go
destroy.
right with it. There you go. You know, there you go, man.
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm
Like,
upset every time.
If you're the
man.
parent watching that video, you just seen this post say, she's 26 with limited value.
No value.
It is saying
Now you would
price
think,
on it.
you would think a young
$11,000.
person had the value and the old person didn't. You think it was vice versa.
No, it wasn't about.
No. I'm just saying. I said you would think.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
you
But
know,
what he's talking about ain't got no value.
you know, but because she ain't white.
Yeah, she ain't white.
That's all it was. You know what I mean? But like he said, like, you know, yeah, you would think, but they would have value. But no, if you not white to people like that,
You don't got no
value. It don't
No,
matter
no.
what you got, because the lowest, you know, they try to teach the lowest of the low to feel like he better than you anyway. So
That's
you know,
how they gonna roll.
The city cowards always go get these black women to put up there and talk for them.
Yeah, true that.
They keep falling for it. Too.
She talking about our police department.
But she go hard in paper. She's at the same time.
Our
Everybody
police
got a good
department.
point of view. Yeah. Well, everybody got none.
I got the weather.
Go ahead. Let's
So, y'all just want to talk about what's been going on in September. I got a video as well.
yeah, it's been crazy.
Se nos ha inundado la casa entera. Se nos ha inundado la casa entera.
video tonight showing the damage left behind after tornadoes tore through northeast Ohio. This video specifically showing the damage in Cleveland after they were hit with an EF1. This all comes after the National Weather Service now confirms 9 tornadoes hit the area Thursday night into yesterday morning. One was an EF2, 6 of those tornadoes were EF1s, and 1 was an EF0. Right now, more than 60,000 people are still without power.
New video posted on social media showing what people outside Florida are now dealing with. This is a highway in Goose Creek, South Carolina, and that through the windshield is a car in the exact wrong place as a tornado cuts across, oh my goodness, cuts across its path. After flipping, it hit another car. Amazingly, truly, the only injuries in both cars were minor. That is so eerie to see that car just upended.
Now, Typhoon Seola has made landfall in southern China, having given Hong Kong a glancing blow. Although it has reduced in strength, Seola is bringing fierce winds and heavy rain to Guangdong province, where tens of millions of people are sheltering indoors. 800,000 people have been evacuated from the more vulnerable areas of Guangdong, which is home to several megacities. Seola has caused extensive disruption to transport, business and education, and is likely to bring storm conditions for much of the weekend.
That's that quick. Wow. See, they don't make news. You know what I mean? I mean, you have to dig deep to get that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you got?
So I got some scripture to go with that. We know the regular scripture, you know, rumors of wars and stuff. So we got that Matthew 24:7. And it says, well, I'm sorry, it says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you not be troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow."
Yeah, that's the beginning.
Go to Luke 21.
Yeah, I was going to.
Okay, y'all already.
Yeah,
I like Luke because Luke break that thing down. Go pretty much what you're talking about. I know Mark 13 and 8 got one too, but Luke 21 and 11.
Yeah. It said, then said he,
Well, ready to eat, man. I see you, bro.
Oh, yeah. Then it said, I'm sorry, 10. Then he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences. And fearful sights and great signs shall be there from heaven. See, I like that because
Hey, read 11 again.
And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places.
Diverse places. That's what we discussing now. I'm gonna discuss that in a minute. It goes right with that. In famines and pestilence. Man.
Fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven.
And what we just looking at fearful sight and great signs.
Yeah, that big old cloud, I don't know what that was.
See, that's why everything, it seems like everything intensifying, ain't it?
Right.
You know what I mean? But the Lord say the end is not yet. But everything is, we ain't seen no numbers like these.
And I wanted to read that because it ain't just the weather. It's
the
wars and rumors of wars that we in right now.
Earthquakes in diverse places that ain't never been.
Right.
I ain't hear about that place in South Korea or Korea. Who is them people? What is that typhoon's name?
Yeah.
We didn't hear about that typhoon's name. You know, and
9 tornadoes in one spot.
I'm gonna piggyback off you with this, but I know Mac got a scripture, so we'll go to that real fast.
That scripture real quick. It's Jeremiah 23, verse 18 through 20.
Already.
Verse 18 through 20. Kind of goes on with that video we just saw. Who had stood in the counsel of the Lord and had perceived and heard his word? Who had marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of the Lord shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days he shall consider it perfect.
Yes,
That's why we're here playing this video, because we're considering the working of the operation of the hands of the Lord perfectly in these latter days. It's really going down, a lot of destruction all around us, man.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
my advice to anybody, man, get in the word, try to get closer to God, and you know, because this thing's speeding up, man. Sabbath day coming quick every week. It just better find God, man.
And I piggyback off
close to him.
I got video, but we ain't gonna watch the video. But I got some stuff that I ain't passing really discuss. And it's pretty much, you know, like your girl say on the first front. Let's crunch some numbers. But and like September the 8th, right? We know about that, the earthquake that, you know, Joshua was reading about in Matthew 24, earthquake in diverse places. It was a 6.8 to 7.9 magnitude on the Richter scale, if you will. And Morocco kicked it off. These are two of the same now. This is deep. And a lot of people died, man. You know what I mean? And then we ain't even talk about the war that's going on now. So you think within the too much how much thousands of people died. You know what I mean? So we got 3,000. We'll kick it off 3,000 in Morocco. And what happened is it was an earthquake. 2 mountains had failed. I'm gonna read that. 2 mountains failed and then put a flood to Derna. I think it's Derna. Yeah, Derna, Libya. So it was 2 in 1. So Morocco, it kicked it off in Morocco, and a lot of people don't know it's the same thing. It was the same incident that kicked off what's happening in Libya. Because the earthquake and 2 mountains fell, flooded out Morocco, flooded out Libya, all in one. So I'm gonna read that. It says, this is from Ahmad Al-Falah. He's working in Benghazi. And then we got this one. I got the sources already at the bottom where I get my news from. And this is actually from KBTX and local news. And this is what they say. They say bodies are everywhere. And this is Derna. This is in Libya. He said bodies are everywhere. Inside houses and streets and at the sea. Wherever you go, you'll find a dead man, woman, and child. An aid worker from Benghazi said over the phone from Derna. Entire families were lost. And then this is what happened off Morocco, right? 2 dams of the mountains above the city collapsed, sending the floodwaters roaring down to Wadi Derna River and through the city center, sweeping away entire city blocks, right? As much as a quarter of the city disappeared, emergency officials said. So that's 2 incidents in 1. So y'all got the numbers, right? So this is just an example. I was just showing you how much deaths, and these just 2 incidents. And we got the war, and we ain't talking about all the stuff Josh A just showed that we don't know nothing about. You know what I mean? All this what's happening. The Lord is collecting, man. You know what I mean? So it says Morocco 3,000 killed. Now, these are numbers that's happened in September. Now, if you want to go do the research, I always, by numbers I give and take, because I'm not there doing a census, so this is just a ballpark figure. Morocco, 3,000 killed. Derna, Libya, 11,300 killed. They said in eastern Libya, another 170. 14,470 killed between Morocco and Derna, right? Injured, Morocco 5,600, Derna, Libya 7,000, equals 12,600 injured, right? From this one incident. There came out to be 2 incidents. Missing, Morocco 200, but there was an update. They found 90 of the 200 dead. So the missing is 110 now. It was 200. And so you can add 90 to the 14,470 to the kill, but I didn't. I just left it alone because they subject to change. Okay, in Derna, Libya, 10,100 missing, so it brings the total to 10,210. So they all over 10,000. The killing is over 10,000, the injured is over 10,000, and the missing is over 10,000. Wait until you see the affected or the displaced. Morocco, 6,600 affected, and in Derna, Libya, 43,000. This is out of Al Jazeera. 43,000 displaced. Leave it to 49,600 in one incident. You know what I mean? And we is talking about
bigger and bigger, man.
It's getting, that's why I made this chart. It's getting bigger and bigger because the numbers getting huge, and then we ain't even thinking about the killing that's here and what happened in the war in October. This is September.
Yeah.
And what Josh showed, Brother Josh showed, and then what you talked about, it's just death everywhere.
It's just, really, man, to be honest with you, there ain't no time to talk about every story.
No, we'll be all day.
You know what I mean? So much happening, man, last month.
In my references, I just want to lay the references real fast, because, this is social media, the redcross.org, France 24. It's more than these News 3, the UN migration body, Al Jazeera, and NBC News. They just some of the references I use to get those numbers and the stories. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
That's what that's it.
Might as well read that Amos 3 and 6.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Why not?
Oh yeah, Amos 3 and 6.
Yeah.
So the trumpet be blown in the city, and people be not afraid.
Yeah.
If they're evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it.
Yeah.
You better believe.
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord has not done it?
Who done it?
Question. The Lord.
What's that, Isaiah what? Isaiah 45 and
17.
That's Isaiah 45 and 17 or 7?
17.
Okay. Isaiah 45 and 17.
Is it 17 or 7? You might be right.
Isaiah
45. We know it's Isaiah 45.
It's 7.
Yeah.
Check it out. It says, I form the light. I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So you better decide who doing this and who to serve. You know what I mean? So just like the 6 major cities we talked about here, just like what Matt talked about, and everything else we're going to talk about, you got to seek your God before you can be a sanctuary.
Let me get that 1 Samuel on 2 and 6, man.
Like the book, baby.
Yeah.
We preceptors here at 10.
I'm going to read 6 through 8.
That's fine. 6 through 8.
Yeah. The Lord kill it and make it alive.
Yeah.
Bring it down to the grave and bring it up. The Lord make it poor and make it rich. He bring it low and lift it up. He raised up the poor out of the dust and lift up the beggar from the dunghill. And set them among princes, and to make them to inherit the throne of glory of the pillars of earth of the Lord, and he has set the world upon them.
Yeah.
See, so,
and I like that 6. I like that 6 because it's just like that 45, right?
One did that, yeah.
Okay, so since he did that, and before I go to this next story about the Emancipation Proclamation, I'm going to read that Jeremiah 11 and 11. Jeremiah 11 and 11. Since we precepted, and it says, I'll let the brothers get there. And you better know who you worship. They got the Lord all cuddly, but these nations they're gonna know by the time it's said and over with. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they shall not be able to escape. Did anybody escape that? Nobody escaped that, did he? And though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them. Why? It's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
He said, my name is gonna be there after a while. You know what I mean? So why you better sit there and seek. And while you seek, you better understand how does God operate. If not, his name ain't going to be there.
Now let me read that verse 12.
Go ahead, that's fine.
Then shall the cities of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry unto the gods on whom they have offered incense, but they shall not save them at all in their time of trouble.
Read 13 because we're talking about Baal here. Go ahead.
According to the number of thy cities were thy gods, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem how you set up altars to that shameful thing, even to the altars burn incense onto Baal.
And that's what you got. You got cities, you got these cities, they got their gods, they got their statues, but you just serving a different God. They ain't no, it's behind religion now. And on top of that, man, I just wanted to kick off because I got another little document for everybody. This letter to William Seward is something. But this is about Emancipation of Proclamation. And this is a serious little thing the Bible, the storyteller, he had went over, and I love the way this brother broke it down. And he shed some light. And it ties to Juneteenth as well. You know, and there's a lot of things I didn't know that what happened in July 1862 with President Lincoln. Because you got a draft of the proclamation, you got a preliminary of the proclamation, and you got a final proclamation. And I don't know about the three, you know what I mean? But the draft came out in July 1862. So what President Lincoln was going to do is say, look, brother, I'm going to put this emancipation out. And William Seward, he was like, no, man, don't do it. Don't do it, we get our buckets kicked in. You can't free nobody at this moment. So I'm going to give y'all a letter. It's tripped out. You know, emancipation just means being set free from social or political restrictions or being a liberal. You know, that's what liberals do. And a proclamation being public, official announcement of matter of great importance to clear up the matter. So that's the proclamation part of it. But he was going to put this out, and everybody called this in July, that's 22nd. Before that war came in September. He was going to put this out on July 22nd. It's the rough draft. But he said, no, man, we can't do this. So this is the letter, and it's hard to find this letter, too. And I don't think let me read you over. It's funny, because he said, he said, Mr. President, I approve the proclamation, but I question the expediency of its issue at this juncture, at this time, right? You know, he said, I understand what you're saying. You know, and I know it got to be speedy. You know what I mean? The depression of the public's mind. What do you mean by the depression of the public mind? The public opinion is going to say something. He said, consequent upon our repeated reverses. That means we get our butt kicked here. So, I'm going to finish reading that. So, he said repeated reverses. Okay, this is research done between September, September, let me get in the right area. August to September 1862. He said, okay, and then he says here, consequent upon our repeated reverses. Man, we 2-13. You know what I mean? We won 2 wars and lost 13 to the Confederates. So that's why he said, man, consequent upon your repeated reverses, it's so great that I fear the effect of so important a step. He said, man, we shouldn't do this, because, man, we're 2-13. He finna put out this Emancipation Proclamation, right?
2-14.
Be 2-14 after that. But see, Israel got a job here, or I'm finna show you what he called it. It may be viewed as the last measure of an exhausting government, he said, right? A cry out for help, like we're desperate. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. It's like the government stretching forth his hand to Ethiopia, and instead of Ethiopia stretching his hand towards the government. What do you mean by Ethiopia?
We need y'all help, black folks.
Bird face.
Yeah.
And see, he knew this. So when you read it again, he said it's just us exalting the government to cry out for help. Okay, he says the government stretching forth his hand out to Ethiopia, meaning the Ethiopians, the Negro, the Hebrew Israelites, it's a byword. Instead of Ethiopia stretching hands towards the government. So what he's saying is, hey man, we can't have this right now. Don't put out the proclamation because we're gonna need the black folks. And we don't want the people thinking that the black folks, we need them. So wait, and that's why he wait to January 1st, you know, in 1863. That way they'll say the people needed the covenant. But if you do it now, it's gonna be like we needed Israel, meaning Israelites, Hebrew. Right. So, with that being said, this is how it went down. All right. There was 2-13, right? Okay. General Robert E. Lee out of North Virginia and George McClellan of Maryland. He was the general of not the Confederate, but of the Union. This is Abe's boy. And plus, he got fired anyway. Because, you know, Abe was leaning on Robert E. Lee and was beating him. And the Battle of Antietam was set off in September 17th. of 1862. That was the main battle. But if you notice, July was the draft of the proclamation. Now, black men came in, 2,900 African American, Hebrew Israelites, whatever you want to call them, Ethiopians, burnt faces. They came in 1862 of August. The proclamation was in July. So he came in July, finna do the draft. He said, no, we can't do it. Seward said, no, we can't do this, brother. You know what I mean? But they brought the Negro in to fight. That's the only way we're going to win this. We bring the Negroes in to fight. You know what I mean? So they brought them in, but don't do the proclamation yet, because if we put them in now, we may lose. So the brothers came in August, so this is 1 month later. All these bonding up to 3 months. July, the draft. August, here comes the Negro. September, the final battle at Antietam, right? So they came in, and that's when he came up the 22nd. September the 22nd, 1862. Abe said, we're going to do it now. He said, no, don't do it yet. Wait till January. So if you go online and you research that preliminary emancipation, you're going to see that he was talking about January the 1st when it do come out. Israel lean. Them boys feel like David. They fell on them boys like David and Goliath. You know what I mean? He fell on them like, hey, you know how we used to go to war back in the Bible? Right. And that's how Israel came and squashed them, had General Lee running. You know what I mean? But Abe got mad at the General George because he didn't smash him like he wanted to, so he fired him. You know what I mean? That's another story. We don't care about him getting fired. But it's just Israel came and wrecked shop. So you ask yourself this. While me saying all this in January the 1st, when the final proclamation came, emancipation, you ask yourself this question. Did Abe free us, or do we free ourselves?
Free ourselves, man.
Because see, they knew we had to free ourselves, because now when you tell your children the story, say, okay, that Emancipation Proclamation is our people freeing us.
But what white man gonna go fight that hard for our freedom?
And now
you can't name one.
But he fought for his freedom.
That's right.
So now back to the story.
That's why they were 2 and 13.
Back to this, it says the government stretching forth his hands to Ethiopia instead of Ethiopia stretching his hands towards the government. They tried to wait. Yeah. They got the one. They got the battle. They won the victory through the Hebrew Israelites. They let the black folks win. You know what I mean? When black folks came in and helped them win, and now they want to say y'all free. No, we freed ourselves. And I just want to share that with y'all, just a quick little history about William Seward. And a letter he sent to Lincoln and said, hold up, don't do it yet. Let's let the blacks play a role in this. Because without the blacks, we cannot win this war. Confederate already tearing us up 2-13. You know what I mean? So let's not do this right now. You know what I mean?
You think about it.
So that battle at Antietam.
They were 2 and 13. They really want to try to free.
And that's research from August to September.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or what their record was, 2 and 13.
Yeah, they 2 and 13. They wasn't really trying to free us.
But the Negro came like David and linked on him.
Negro got tired of being a slave.
or the burnt face.
Yeah.
Or the Ethiopians. He had jokes.
Yeah.
They
can't help themselves. Say, man, y'all heard that Baton Rouge Brave cave? Y'all heard about that?
Baton Rouge Brave.
Y'all heard? Man, go to watch later. I just dropped a video on there. I had so many stories, man, I can't.
The police department in Baton Rouge, Louisiana is under scrutiny because of lawsuits that claim officers tortured detainees in an off-site warehouse. NBC News Now correspondent Stephen Romo has more on the disturbing allegations.
Shocking allegations about an unmarked police facility in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, coming to light in a new federal lawsuit.
Detainees are essentially kidnapped, taken, interrogated, frequently beaten, and strip searched.
Now, one of the officers involved, Troy Lawrence Jr., has resigned and is charged with small battery in connection to a different incident. Local leaders disturbed by the revelations.
I made the immediate decision to permanently close the facility.
47-year-old Ternell Brown is suing the Baton Rouge Police Department, saying she endured sexual humiliation while in custody in June. Brown says in the complaint she was stopped while carrying 2 types of her own prescription pills and taken to an off-site warehouse referred to as the Brave Cave by the Baton Rouge Area Violence Elimination Unit, or Brave Team. There, she says she underwent an invasive 2-hour strip search with a flashlight and was released with no charges.
That facility has been around 19 years. Facility is called the Narcotics Processing Center.
Were you aware that it was used for strip searches?
No, the strip search, I was not aware of that.
It's not just the existence of this facility that's under scrutiny. The department's broad stop and strip policy is also being questioned. It allows officers to strip search civilians without arresting them.
Do you think that might need to change, the strip search policy?
Absolutely.
The chief says the department policy is reviewed yearly, but the strip search policy hasn't been revised since 2016, and that's despite a complaint 3 years ago.
What I'm getting arrested for?
You being detained.
How? For what?
Because I said so.
But you ain't tell me
I ain't gotta tell you why. I don't have.
Last month, BRPD hit with yet another lawsuit. This time, 22-year-old Jeremy Lee says he was beaten at the off-site facility and left with a fractured rib, among other injuries. According to the Baton Rouge police chief, it was Lee's complaint to the department in July that led him to disband the Brave unit. Lawrence Jr., a member of the unit and an officer named in both lawsuits, was involved in at least 4 other lawsuits alleging assaults that have either been dismissed or settled. The police department is conducting its own internal affairs and criminal investigations, as well as asking the FBI to get involved.
Do you know of any other cases that could be in the works regarding the Brave Cave?
We do. There will be more.
Stephen Romo, NBC News.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
The Lord said they fear towards me is taught by precepts of men, right? So when there was a man teaching you something, you ain't got no fear.
Right.
So they teaching it in law. That's why Israel on both sides in the war. We can choose the Confederate or the Union.
The Democrat or the Republican.
Or the Independent.
The blood or the crib.
Yeah, exactly. See, so you're giving your fear to man.
The red laws or the blue laws.
Yeah, exactly.
You keep going, So
they better get with the Matrix.
All this stuff, Masonic stuff, man.
What's the Matrix? What pill?
Red,
blue or the red?
Yeah, red, blue pill, same thing.
Now, can anybody go to that scripture where it said the synagogue of Satan?
You said
Revelation?
Yeah.
Synagogue of Satan? Talking about 2-9?
Yeah. I'm going to hook it up with something.
And
show the people who behind all this. Okay, I'm going to start with this right here. I'm in Daniel 7. I'm going to read 23 and 24.
And I'll read 2-9 for you.
Nah, I took that back.
You said
I'm going to read 24 and 25.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to start off in Daniel 7. It says, "And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse." Now remember the word diverse when you describe the weather.
Right, the first place.
This beast is going to be diverse just like that weather.
Yeah.
Okay. From the first he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they he should be given in his hand time and a half a time. Now, it used the words diverse 2 times. I mean, in 23 it said, "Thus he said, the 4th beast shall be, the 4th kingdom upon the earth, which should be diverse from the whole other beasts."
So it's gonna be something you ain't never seen.
It's gonna be just like that weather.
Yeah, it's like we ain't never seen this before.
Okay, now read that what you got to
2-9.
Yeah.
And I know that works in like tribulation and poverty, but there are rich. And I know about the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Okay. So you know when you go inside a synagogue, who's sitting in there, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna wrap this up and show you about the diverse and who the beast gonna destroy and where he gonna do it at, which is in the synagogue. Now watch this.
Where you at?
I'm gonna be in Luke 21 and chapter 12.
Go ahead, bro.
It said, "But before all these things, they shall lay a hand on you and persecute you and deliver you up to the synagogues."
Yeah.
So if Satan is the synagogue of Satan, and he deliver you up to the synagogue, guess what? You're going to have to take your walk right in and out. That's what I just read in Daniel.
Yeah.
He going to come and lay his hand on the chosen, right?
Yeah.
Now, they going to take the chosen into the synagogues. And the synagogue is where Satan is at.
Man,
yeah.
So guess what? Your choice is going to have to be right there.
So it's safe to say, in a way, when you talk about the synagogue of Satan, he called them the children of the devil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in Luke, John 8:44. When he say, you are your father the devil.
And one more. John 16 and 2.
All right.
The same synagogue where Satan is at, it says, they shall put you out of the synagogue. Yea, the time coming that whosoever killeth you would think they doing God's service. Now, just like the beast come as God, but he killing the saints.
And I'm gonna read that 3. Why? This is God right here. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. That's why they do it. The Lord ain't what we said 59. We ain't gonna read it because we know we're gonna read that whole thing. But the truth has fallen
in the streets.
In the streets.
Yeah. And what does it sound like to y'all? Ain't this happened before?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When Sunday church was made, what was they doing? They was forcing.
Yeah.
They made you take that.
Yeah.
This all makes sense because the great and terrible beast is the fourth beast.
Yeah.
And they Roman Empire, right? So we know that in the end time, we really got to just worry about that Sunday church over here.
Yeah, but exactly. But you can't.
You can't. You know, I think
you can't hide from this God.
I tell everybody, like when I talk to certain people about Sabbath day and Sunday, I believe that Sunday is tomorrow. I don't care what nobody say. And the reason why I believe that, because God said that the Sabbath day is a sign, which is the same thing, a sign of marking you in the
or a mimic.
Yeah.
Because he mimicked a lot of stuff.
I mean, he called the Sabbath day a sign between him and the children of Israel forever. So is Sunday a sign between the Christians and Satan forever, whatever, you know what I mean? I ain't trying to just beat down on nobody. I'm just saying. And he said, and like you said, the mimic thing. And he made the Sabbath day a sign between him and the children of Israel forever. Then of course Satan was, I'm gonna make Sunday, you know, between me and my children forever. You know what I'm saying?
But you gotta understand, Satan did a lot of deception.
I believe it's the cross.
See, that's what I'm saying. He got so many deceptions.
Because like when he said a deception, right? So like I said, he's saying that it's going to be the church and synagogue, but at the same time, we heard that from the beginning. We was forced in the beginning by the Roman Empire. And they came with the crosses, right? Now you see every sinister movie, all these, what they have, crosses turned upside down.
Yeah, especially when it's around the, I'll say, Viking days.
Correct.
Or what you call them, the Templar, the Knight Templar.
Roman Inquisition and stuff.
And the Inquisition. They crosses, it scared them.
Right? Think about
bad, right?
But he said that no man might buy or sell, saying he that had the mark, or the name, or the number of his name. That's 3 different things.
So it's a mimic.
So, and you know they do got the Ash Wednesday.
Correct.
Where they put it at? They put it in your forehead or your head, you know what I'm saying? And Sunday.
The reason being is because Satan is deception.
Yeah.
So the fact that all the scary movies, they turn the cross upside down, but they always got the cross in there.
You know where they get that from?
Every Sunday church always got a cross, right? That's their symbol. On the Bibles, you got the cross.
And like Matt was saying, it's the church. Like you said, it's the cross. The cross represents the Sunday church.
They all go hand in hand.
They all get the hoops, you know what I mean?
So you see somebody with a cross on, you ain't gonna say, oh, that's an Israelite. You don't automatically know.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
But you won't say it's an Israelite, right? But we know crosses ain't really good, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same deception. Right. Why wouldn't he give you a cross? Because the cross is supposed to represent something holy, right? That's something deceptive.
And I'm gonna tell you this, brother.
Really, it's a symbol of death.
I'm like,
right, but it's a symbol of death. But
like
to most majority of the world,
sign them all. They all imitate.
Right, but to the majority of the world, the cross is holy.
Yeah,
it's godly.
It's so why nobody don't wear a pistol on their neck?
Correct.
Blood won't die.
Right. But they wear the Jesus piece of their cross.
Or even a jab. You can wear the needle.
Or an electric chair. I'm gonna tell you like
this. You can wear the needle on your neck because you got people that died from the COVID-19 vaccine.
It's getting so bad now. Say, okay, I got a Lions shirt on. It's getting so bad it's bleeding over to Israel and social media. The ones that's in the truth. This mimic is huge. You understand what I'm saying? It's getting that Satan like, okay, they know they Israel now. I gotta throw a monkey wrench in that. I gotta stay above these people. Cause say I got a Lions shirt on. Okay, brother come in, oh, you part of that, you Israelite? Brother, just a Lions shirt.
Yeah.
I like lions. You know what I mean? Now if I had the Lions shirt in Judah, you may come in and what that represent? Revelation 5, don't it? Because it got Judah, but some go something talk. You the tribe of Judah? No, brother, this represents the Lord, because everybody got different beliefs. Satan throwing a monkey wrench. So if I come in there with a zebra shirt on, what can you say then?
Oh, you like the animal kingdom?
No, true. See, now you can tell you. It's unfair to you because that's true. That's right. You the truth. I like the animal kingdom. But here comes this Hebrew Israelite that's on social media that love to get it all broke down. Oh, that brother wearing that zebra shirt. Man, they represent that white horse and that black horse, don't they? Look, brother, they combine right here. If you go to Isaiah, Ezekiel, and then see these brothers breaking down so much and they going so deep that they
break
throwing
down
themselves out the
everything
book.
out the book.
And they got a pile of historian books, and they got the Enoch and Jad. No, I don't need the Lord. I don't need them books. It's just getting ridiculous, man. So you know, they chasing away people out of the truth.
I'm gonna tell you something else I think is a sign. You said the cross, you said Sunday. They're both good ones. I'm gonna throw that U.S. United States flag over there.
Oh, that's a good decision.
Because he said, what the flag say? I pledge allegiance. What you pledge allegiance with?
With your hand.
Your right hand.
That's an agreement. That's an
And
agreement whenever
it
they
say
use the
on
hand.
your forehead, on your right hand.
Yeah.
What do you do a salute from?
Yeah, salute.
Your right hand to your forehead.
And see, what you're talking about is to your military.
Yeah.
To fighting to conquer. That's an agreement. That's why you got the military thing with the hand. It's an agreement to the military.
If you don't stand for the national anthem, what happened to you?
Oh yeah,
It's ridiculed. Might lose your job and lose
Mike
your job.
Mike Tomlin suspends 2 players for not kneeling.
Lose your job.
Reason I say-
Might possibly
reason I
lose your
say
life.
cross is because, like, okay, you know, people hate scared of change, right? But cross is something that's been around for years, thousands of years.
That's a good deception.
So they
sounds
know,
like the white Jesus.
They would know. So if they trying to convert you in the end time, they like, well, what they gonna try to convince the world that you need to turn yourself over to God? But they ain't gonna tell you what God is. Gonna say God.
But I'm gonna tell you,
Because he hide behind religion.
Right, because he hide behind religion. So if
And
they
all
tell
wrong,
you,
he's
hey,
wrong.
you
All
need to
wrong,
turn
he's
yourself
wrong.
to God or you gonna die.
Yeah.
Because he purged. He want everybody to turn myself. They gonna give you a cross.
Yeah.
Because that's their symbol.
But I'm gonna tell you something about that cross. It speaks for itself too. That cross is like it said in the book. It's the beast that was that was yet died, but it still is.
Still is, yeah.
It started off.
He's gonna fall and rise a lot of times. That's what the book says.
It started off as a symbol of execution.
Right.
It died out when the pagan Rome died out, and it came back as a symbol of religion.
Yeah, it's gonna rise and fall, and that's what it's doing. You know, and that's hey, when that little horn comes, it's all gonna come to a head, right? And that's the only thing we waiting on now, because everything else been fulfilled.
But I'm
You know
gonna tell you
what I
something
mean?
else, and I like what my brother here said too, because he said Sunday and Saturday, and the reason I agree with him, because on that Saturday, now we got people cutting that Sabbath in half.
Yeah, ain't nobody's wrong, because we all in the truth here.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody wrong.
Now it's like he
But,
said, and.
And then
that
we gonna
beat
be like
diverse.
some brothers trying to make a day, what, 12 hours?
12 hours.
Don't let us get on that.
No, we'll be another 3 days. But you know what? We might need to touch on that, yo. You know what I mean? We might need to just get in here, you know, do a table of truth side teaching and just teach about this morning and evening stuff. Because, you know, this caused too much confusion in Israel, man.
Yeah, I mean, the Lord talks about the 7 at the beginning.
But the Sabbath day is so important to the Most High, kinfolk.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this represents the 1,000-year millennium, so I think it's important for us, man. We probably need to hash it out and
what's
pick
important
us
to
a
the
day
Lord
to get on this thing with the evening in the morning, bro, and show how it goes.
If y'all ain't read Psalms 119, the Lord's laws, statute, commandments. What matter to everybody he's trying to say here, the Sabbath day, the cross, the salute, all this, you can't get into the kingdom through a window. The same way you're going to have to get into the kingdom, the same way the prophets got into it, the same way Paul and everybody else sitting in the ground have to get into it.
Through that door.
Through that one door. It ain't no 2 doors. So you got to keep the law, statute, commandments. You know, his word is true, and ain't no shortcuts. You know what I mean? So that's just what it is. You got to keep the Sabbath day. You got his Lord, holy high days. You got the dietary law. You got to keep all this stuff, man. It's, you know, we soldiers out here. We roll with Ephesians 6. So that's how we roll it at the table. You know what I mean? So anything else, my brothers?
The Day of Atonement shall be from even to even, and it should be as a what?
Sign.
No.
I mean that's just a sign of the true and living God.
No, as a what?
A day of affliction.
It should be as a Sabbath.
Sabbath, okay, yeah.
So if the Day of Atonement
Yeah.
should be as a Sabbath,
Yeah.
and the Day of Atonement started at evening, then what is a Sabbath?
I mean, but he told us at the beginning. I mean, he taught us how to count to 7, people.
But there's some scripture there you can't get over.
And then he told you evening and the morning makes a day. You know what I mean? He
He
tell you
do part of the morning.
Yeah. And he tell you through the feast days when you gonna meet up at the evening and when it's over. You know what I mean? So whenever the evening comes at 6 o'clock at night, if you want to just use that as an example, and the sun goes down at 6 o'clock at night, that's a 24-hour period. You know what I mean? So it's just so many, but he told us at the beginning. And if you don't understand the beginning, then you can't. How can you understand? If you don't understand the beginning, how can you understand the end of the book?
How do you have a night without the day or day without the night?
No, they got a vampire movie called From Dusk to Dawn.
Yeah, From Dusk to Dawn.
There you go. From sundown to sunrise. Come on, man.
Well, that's the end on the Lord's Sabbath day. Like Matt said, we keeping the Sabbath day. You know what I mean? We're not keeping Sunday. You know, we're not running no cross up in here. You know
we just trying to warn y'all. We're not speaking against y'all.
We don't believe in graven images. And it's gonna be a time like my brother. He trying to warn y'all, but we gonna tell you straight up. You know what I mean? Because we've been warning for a long time, and I know everybody ain't in the truth type thing, but you gotta stop letting people tell you and look for yourself. You gotta start opening the book for yourself. You know what I mean? This ain't a feel-good thing. That's what's happening. We feel like it can be this way, and we feel it can be that way. But you gotta look with your own eyes, sisters and brothers. But that's the end of it. September, Table of Truth. And we're going to leave y'all with that on the Sabbath day, the Lord's Holy Sabbath day, with deuces.
Peace.
We got Brother Matt, Brother Dre, and Brother Joshua, and our Brother Yo. See ya. Deuce.